Now we hear all the time from conservatives, hey, listen, we got to give tax breaks to these poor corporations because it'll trickle down. You give them huge tax breaks and they'll create jobs for you. Well, that's exactly what Marathon Petroleum promised the city of Detroit. And in return, back in 2007, when they made that promise, they got the equivalent of $175 million in tax breaks from the city of Detroit. So, at the time, their senior vice president said, as we discuss job creation, please understand that we will do what we can to hire qualified Detroit residents. And first of all, he didn't say it was voluntary. And when they gave him the tax exemptions and the subsidies, Detroit didn't demand that it was mandatory. They just said it was voluntary. They'll do whatever they can. But they said, no, we're going to go further. And we're going to put money into education in Detroit so we can get great employees. He said, it is our intention, no words, by the way, always the legalese. It is our intention to work closely with the Detroit Workforce Development Department and a local institution of higher education to develop curriculum and offer training for interested Detroit residents. Well, they did. They actually put in $154,000 towards 37 scholarships. That's not bad. Now, if I got $175 million, might I take a tiny, tiny percentage of it, $154,000, and flick it over to Detroit higher education? Well, I might. Did they hire any of those people that came out of those scholarships? Nope. They said, look, if it was a tie between a Detroit worker and someone else, we'd give the edge to the Detroit worker, but I guess we never had a tie. Okay, no, wait. Let's be fair now. Back in 2007, they had 320 workers in that plant, and today they have 514 workers. Oh, wait, they did add a lot of jobs. And of those, how many are Detroit residents? 30. Whoop-de-doo. By the way, before the tax breaks, 15 were Detroit residents. So, for $175 million, they added a whopping 15 workers. Let's do some quick math on that. I believe that is over $10 million per worker. Now, do you think it's a good idea to offer hundreds of millions of dollars in tax subsidies to corporations in the hopes that out of the goodness of their hearts, they will voluntarily hire people in your city? Perhaps that's not how capitalism works. So the reality is, a lot of times these cities, they give away these huge tax subsidies and take it out of the pockets of their own residents, not because they actually think it's going to trickle down, not because they actually think that you're going to hire employees there. In the state of New Jersey, Campbell's got a huge subsidy from Chris Christie. They fired workers in the state of New Jersey. They got to keep most of the subsidy anyway. So it's totally counterproductive. But that's not why Chris Christie does it. That's not why the politicians in Detroit did it. They do it because they get money from the corporations. Lebowski, that's how it works. If you allow corporations to spend unlimited money in politics, they will buy an unlimited number of politicians. Perhaps the answer is to take money out of politics. So that's why some people ask, well, look, at Wolfpack, that's a PAC we formed to make sure we get money out of politics and to get a constitutional amendment so that you can't do it at the federal level, you can't do it in Detroit, you can't do it in New Jersey, okay? But one of the parts of that amendment is public financing of elections. But oftentimes conservatives will say, well, I don't want my taxpayer money going to politicians. Dude, you just lost $175 million of taxpayer money from dead broke Detroit. And they gave it away for a couple of $1,000s in campaign contributions probably. So when you don't publicly finance elections and they don't work for us, they work for someone else, it costs us so much more money. And now, of course, Detroit's bankrupt because they robbed it blind. There was many other problems in Detroit, but this is certainly among them. Get money out of politics, otherwise we lose on every issue. $175 million for 15 jobs. What a joke. Wolf-pack.com.